I'm going to do a quick review and setup instructions for putting together this automatic dog fountain. I do Amazon reviews for a company, and I saw an opportunity here where this product wasn't getting great reviews, but I think part of it may be setup error or not really understanding how something like this really goes together to work properly. So this is pretty much how it comes unboxed. Get my tool over there. So you've got your box, got some basic instructions, which are good, but I don't think they go quite deep enough for some of the issues people are having. Comes with a splitter for your hose, outdoor hose. Comes with a short piece of hose, and this is the main body of the unit here. So the dog is supposed to be able to press on this, and water will spray up for the dog to drink. So probably the biggest issue I've seen so far is people say it leaks, and that's a problem. So I'm going to go over a good way to attach this permanently. This is a good heavy-duty hose that they supply, and leakage really shouldn't be an issue if it's connected properly. The second major issue I've seen is that there's a screw right in here for adjusting the water pressure. People have said it's very cheap and it breaks easily because it was plastic. Apparently they've already made that change. This is now a brass screw adjustment right here. So I'll go over some of the connections and hopefully help you get this set up properly. Okay, so after putting this thing together and testing it, I've decided that the core issue with this unit is the hose clamps that they package with the unit. So I've already installed a better hose clamp. This is made for higher pressure. Usually use it for either transmission lines on cars or something else, but you see it's got a solid band, and the way it's tightened is actually with a bolt and a small nut here, so you can get a lot more tension on that for this heavier duty hose to hold that on securely. Here's an example of the hose clamp that comes with it, and it's very easy to strip these type of hose clamps out when you're trying to squeeze such a strong hose that comes with this. So I've just replaced these with the other style I just showed you, which sounds very easy, except you actually have to take this apart to do that. It's not as hard as it sounds, in fact, so I'll just show you very briefly. Obviously this one was easy to replace. It's right here on the end. It just comes apart, put a new clamp on, you clamp it down. So I'll walk you through briefly real quick how to take this apart so you get that hose clamp in there. This shiny piece here, this is a pin that goes all the way through this hinge area, and that just keeps it so it has a area to pivot on. So with some pliers you can pull that right out. Okay, set that aside someplace safely, and then this top tray will actually lift right off. Put that off to the side. Now, to get the valve off, we're actually going to remove two screws underneath. And the valve really has to come off for this just because of the way it's designed. I do like this design. It's a nice low profile design, but it is very hard to get to this clamp back here. So what we've got here is we've got two 8mm screws. You take those off. With those screws off, it frees this whole valve. So then what you need to do, so this is the orientation it is when it's put together, right? And what you can actually do is you're going to have to, I'm not going to take mine back apart, but I'll show you basically what you have to do. So you're going to want to thread the hose through the opening in this tray, okay? And you want to make sure, I'm going to flip this upside down now. You want to make sure that your hose clamp is oriented that way. Okay, now this hose clamp is designed for 14 to 16mm hose sizes, and that's what I found to work very nicely on this particular hose on this particular unit. So you've got it apart, you've got the hose through. You want to make sure that that hose clamp is all the way against the body of the valve, all the way up here, and make sure it's oriented this way. Make sure that you have the head of the screw here and that it is pretty much flush with the base here, because that has to be flat, and then that's going to put the screw through that way, and that's going to allow you to really put a lot of pressure on it, tighten it down a lot better. And once I put it together this way, I've got no leaks, and it works good. And I find that this adjustment screw that you can adjust from the top gives you pretty good adjustment, pretty good range of different pressures for your dog. So I'll just put this back together. You can watch as this goes back together. This gets set in here. It's got these little stop tabs so you know where it lines up. You can reinstall this, like so. Okay, see how it goes down and then in? Then you can start this by hand. It just goes right back through that same hole. And then what I found, oh, I got it in by hand that time, but I found that I just tapped it in gently with a tool maybe like this, just to make sure that it got in all the way. And that leaves a little bit on both sides. A final note here, as far as these clamps go, is I like to use, instead of using a flat blade screwdriver, I like to use a nut driver, or you could use a socket. Okay, for these, you're going to get a lot better pressure and control over this when you're using a nut driver, six-sided tool like this. So hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this helps you solve the issues. It really is a solid product, and it's a really cool product. I think a lot of animals would love to have and enjoy using, but I think that this is just a leakage issue that they were dealing with. So I thought I'd give you a quick shot of what it looks like when it's in action. You do get a pretty good spray on it. That was just a little bit of air